Daniel Penny was found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide Monday in the chokehold killing of Jordan Neely on a Manhattan F train, bringing closure in the polarizing case that provoked heated debates about vigilantism, mental illness, and subway safety. The verdict came after Justice Maxwell Wiley on Friday dismissed the top charge of manslaughter at prosecutors' request after jurors said they couldn't unanimously agree on it. That allowed the panel to consider the lesser charge, carrying a maximum of 4 years in prison, as opposed to 15. The verdict comes after Judge Maxwell Wiley dismissed the manslaughter charge against Penny, who is accused of killing Neely. The judge's ruling on Friday left the jury to consider a lesser charge of criminally negligent homicide against Penny. Wiley gave the jurors the Allen charge earlier on Friday, which are instructions reminding the jurors of how much time and money has gone into the case and how imperative it is that they reach a decision. This comes after jurors told Wiley they were unable to come to a unanimous decision on the manslaughter charge against Penny, who also faces one for criminally negligent homicide. Penny has pleaded not guilty. Penny placed Neely in a chokehold for nearly 6 minutes after the man threatened to kill other passengers on the subway. The jury, made up of 5 men and 7 women, deliberated after closing arguments began last week. Before the judge dismissed the manslaughter charge, the jury indicated that it could not decide on the manslaughter charge after it struggled with both Penny's justification for placing Neely in the chokehold and whether the chokehold actually caused Neely's death. The jury can find Penny guilty of criminally negligent homicide if it decides Penny acted recklessly or was careless. The lesser charge carries a maximum sentence of 4 years. Defense attorneys representing Penny petitioned a judge to have the charges against their client dismissed after Thanksgiving, but the judge ruled that the case would move to closing arguments. The defense rested on November 29th after electing not to have Penny testify in his own defense. Deliberations began after the 7-week trial that included 40 witnesses. Jury members also watched hours of video during the trial and listened to recordings of 911 calls that were placed following the incident. During their deliberations, the jury sent a series of notes to the judge, requesting key pieces of evidence, including cell phone video footage of Penny keeping the chokehold on Neely. The jury also requested that judge read definitions of recklessness and negligence, which spoke to the issue of Penny's justification for his actions. Jordan Neely's cause of death is disputed. Central to the case was whether the hold that Penny put on Neely led to the man's death. The medical examiner, key to the prosecution, said the reason for Neely's death was the chokehold, but the defense's experts said this was not the case. He said it was a combination of 4 factors: restraint and struggle, sickle cell crisis, a synthetic drug in his system called K2, and schizophrenia. Penny told officers in an interview room that Neely told passengers on the subway, "I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to go to prison forever. I don't care. I'm going to do this." The defense's clinical pathologist, Dr. Satish Chandru, testified that Neely's injuries suffered in the 2023 incident, along with video shot by passengers, did not indicate that Neely died from the chokehold applied by Penny. 8 passengers who testified at the trial said Neely said something to the effect of being ready to die and go back to jail, alarming them. 3 said he used the words "kill" or "die" in reference to himself or others. A young mother who was on the train with her son did not recall Neely descending on them and saying, "I will kill," as the defense stated at the start of the trial. Nobody testified that he put his hands on anyone or directed his threats at someone specific. Penny quickly intervened, wrapping his arm around Neely's neck and taking him down to the floor from behind, according to his defense and witness testimony. Within around 30 seconds, the train reached the next stop, Broadway Lafayette, where the 2 men remained in a struggle on the floor and passengers fled to the platform. Chandru, citing medical records, testified that the location and extent of the bruising Neely suffered, along with other factors, led him to conclude that the chokehold was not fatal. In addition to the bruising on Neely's neck, Chandru testified that there was a small amount of petechiae, small red spots, caused by subsurface bleeding on his eyelids. The defense has argued Penny was protecting the train against Neely's aggressively threatening and unhinged rage, and that Penny's chokehold was not forceful enough to cause Neely's death. Penny is a white 26-year-old student studying architecture in New York City after serving 4 years in the U.S. Marines as an infantry squad leader until 2021.